Hello, everyone. I hope you're doing good today, really. But right now, I need you to slow down for a second and listen closely, because what I'm about to say actually matters. This might honestly be the most important video you watch all year. I know that sounds big. I know it sounds dramatic. But I'm not saying it for attention. I'm saying it because something serious is happening to you every single day, and most people don't even notice it until it's too late. You're losing something. Quietly, slowly, piece by piece. You're losing your brain. Not in a scary movie kind of way. Not like a disease or an accident. No. This is much more dangerous than that because it feels normal. Your brain is getting older, weaker, slower, and less alive, and you're letting it happen without a fight. No alarms, no pain, just slow decay. And the worst part is, nobody warns you about it. Think about your days. Be honest with yourself. You wake up, grab your phone, and scroll. You scroll while eating. You scroll while waiting. You scroll before sleeping. Hours disappear, and you don't even remember what you watched. Then you repeat the same routine again. Same thoughts. Same habits. Same comfort. Same excuses. You avoid anything that feels hard, awkward, or uncomfortable. And later, you sit there wondering, why am I forgetting things so easily? Why do I feel slower than before? Why don't I feel sharp anymore? Why does life feel heavy, gray, and boring? Here's the hard truth. It's not bad luck. It's not age alone. It's because your brain is slowly shutting down from lack of use. When you don't challenge it, don't stress it in healthy ways, don't force it to adapt, it starts dying. Not physically at first. Mentally, emotionally, creatively. And if you don't take control now, if you don't protect your mind and train it the same way you train your body, you will slowly turn into something scary. A zombie. Awake, but not truly alive. Breathing, but not thinking. Existing, but not really living. This video is not for people who want cute little life hacks or lazy motivation. This is not entertainment. This is for people who are ready to fight for their mind. For people who want to stay sharp, curious, creative, powerful, and mentally young, even at 50, 60, or 70 years old. This is for people who refuse to let their brain rot while their body is still moving. In this video, I'm going to walk you through 16 powerful habits that help keep your brain young and alive. And no, I'm not talking about the same boring advice you see everywhere. This is real, raw, practical, tested by people who don't just want to survive their days. They want to feel alive up here. I tap my head. If you apply these habits, you won't just protect your brain. You'll notice real changes. You'll think faster. You'll speak more clearly. You'll feel lighter mentally. You'll wake up with more energy. You'll sleep deeper. And most importantly, you'll stop feeling like life is slipping through your fingers while you're distracted. But let me be very clear. If you ignore this, don't complain later. Don't complain when your memory fades, your focus disappears, and you can't remember the last time you felt truly alive inside your own head. There's something else, too. This video is also perfect for your English. While you're learning how to keep your brain young, you're also training your listening, your understanding, and your confidence in English. So you're not just saving your mind. You're growing your language skills at the same time. 2 wins. 1 decision. So let's start. Let's rebuild your brain from the inside out. Habit number 1. Use your other hand sometimes. I know. It sounds stupidly simple. And yeah, it might even make you smile. But don't laugh too fast, because this tiny habit is actually a mental weapon, and almost nobody uses it. Your brain loves comfort, and it hates change. The moment you force it to do something unfamiliar, even something small, new connections start forming. Think about your brain like a tree. When you keep walking the same path every day, the ground becomes flat and dead. But when you step in a new direction, even just a little, new paths begin to grow. That's how you keep your brain alive. And this is just the beginning. Every single time you force yourself to do something new or genuinely difficult, it's like your brain grows a fresh branch, a new path, a new signal. But when you repeat the exact same actions every day, year after year, that tree just stands there. No growth, no strength, no life. It's alive on the outside, but inside, nothing is changing. That's why using your non-dominant hand matters so much. I'm talking about the hand you almost never use. The one you don't grab your toothbrush with. The one you don't use to eat, unlock doors, hold your phone, or write your name. When you suddenly switch hands, your brain doesn't like it. It wakes up. It gets irritated. And that irritation is a good thing. You're not just moving your hand differently. You're forcing your brain to rewire itself. You're building new neural connections that don't usually get touched. You're training your mind to stay flexible, alert, and sharp instead of stiff and lazy. Let's say you always use your right hand. Today, you decide to eat with your left. It feels wrong immediately. Your hand shakes. You miss your mouth. Maybe some food falls on the table. You feel stupid. You feel annoyed. And right there, that moment of frustration, that's the signal. That's your brain saying, hold on. This is unfamiliar. I need to focus. I need to adapt. That struggle is not a mistake. That struggle is the workout. When your brain has to concentrate harder, when it has to slow down and figure things out again, it starts growing. That's where the magic actually happens. People who regularly challenge their brain in small, uncomfortable ways like this tend to have better memory, quicker thinking, and a much lower risk of mental decline as they get older. So don't wait. Start now. Write your name today using your other hand, even if it looks terrible. Brush your teeth tonight with the wrong hand. Open doors differently. Eat differently. Not as a joke. Not as a trick. Do it as a fight against mental decay. Because here's the truth nobody likes to admit. When you only do what's easy, your brain gets lazy. And lazy brains don't age well. They die young. Now let's move on. Habit number 2. Do one hard thing every single day. Let me be honest with you. Most people want a soft life. An easy life. A life with no tension, no fear, no discomfort. They avoid anything that feels awkward, painful, or scary. And then they're shocked when their mind feels weak and tired all the time. Here's the truth nobody wants to hear. Your brain stays young only when it struggles. Comfort slowly kills it. Doing one hard thing every day doesn't mean destroying yourself. It means choosing discomfort on purpose. It means training your brain like a warrior instead of treating it like a fragile baby. So what counts as hard? Speaking English, even when you're afraid of sounding stupid. Waking up early, when every part of you wants to stay in bed. Saying no to junk food when everyone around you is eating it. Talking to someone new, instead of hiding in your phone. Going to the gym when you feel tired. Studying one single page even when your brain wants to quit. None of these things are extreme, but they all hurt a little. And that little pain is exactly what keeps your mind alive. Every time you push your brain into fear or discomfort just a bit, you give a shock, a reminder, a message that says, "We're not done yet. We're still alive." I once heard about a man named David. He was 44 years old. Smart guy. Used to be sharp. But now he felt slow, distracted, unfocused, and mentally weak. One day, he asked his doctor a simple question. "Why does my brain feel old already?" The doctor didn't sugarcoat it. He said, "Because you stopped doing hard things about 10 years ago." That hit him hard. So David didn't change everything overnight. He started small. Every day, he took a cold shower for just 20 seconds. Not minutes. Seconds. He forced himself to read one page of a book he didn't even enjoy. He went for a 20-minute walk alone, with no phone, no music, no distractions. That was it. After 30 days, he said something that stuck with me. He said, "My brain feels electric again." Not younger because of magic. Younger because of effort. And that's the pattern you need to understand. Hard things wake your brain up. Easy lives put it to sleep. And we're only getting started. Not because of pills. Not because of shortcuts. But because of struggle. That's the part nobody wants. Yet that's the part that actually works. So here's a simple challenge for you. And I mean simple, not easy. Right now, today, choose one hard thing. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Not when you feel ready. Pick it now and do it. Then, tomorrow, pick another one. And the day after that, do it again. Because if you don't, you won't just stay the same. You'll slowly rot inside the comfort that's quietly destroying you while pretending to keep you safe. Now, let's move forward. Habit number 3. Stay away from screens for part of every single day. Let me stop being polite for a moment and just tell you the truth. Your phone is making your brain stupid. Yeah, I said it. Not tired. Not distracted. Stupid. Every time you scroll, your brain does the same pointless action over and over again. Jump. 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 One video. One post. One picture. One headline. Then another. And another. And another. You don't finish thoughts anymore. You don't sit with ideas. You don't reflect. You just consume and move on. Do you really think your brain enjoys that? No. Your brain is being punished. It's like giving a child candy every 3 seconds. What happens? The kid becomes wild, restless, unfocused, and weak. No patience. no control, no depth. That child is your brain right now. And here's the part that should honestly scare you. Most people today can't sit alone in silence for 5 minutes. 5 minutes. They panic. They feel uncomfortable. They reach for their phone like it's oxygen, like they're drowning without it. That's not normal. That's addiction. That's mental decay happening in real time. Think about someone you know who's always online. They check Instagram 20 times a day. They reply to messages in 2 seconds. They're always available. But sit down and talk to them in real life. They can't focus for more than 10 seconds. They forget what you just said. They say what again and again. Their mind feels foggy. Their energy is low. Their thoughts are slow. That's the price of too much screen time. So what do? You don't need to throw your phone into the ocean. Start small. Turn off all screens for just 30 minutes a day. No phone. No music. No YouTube. No background noise. Nothing. Just you. Sit. Walk. Think. Write. Stare out a window. Let your mind wander. Let it breathe. If you do this daily, your brain will start healing. If you do this daily, your focus will slowly return. If you do this daily, you'll remember what it feels like to be present inside your own head again. But if you ignore this, your brain will be controlled. Not by you. By a screen that doesn't care if you live a full life or waste it scrolling. Now, let's talk about something just as important. Habit number 4. Sleep in a dark, silent room. Let me ask you something honestly. Do you sleep with the TV on? With lights glowing around you? With your phone next to your head? Notifications buzzing. Screen lighting up. If you do, congratulations. You're slowly damaging your brain while you sleep. Sleep is not just rest. Sleep is repair. It's when your brain cleans itself. It removes mental trash. It strengthens memory. It resets your emotions. It rebuilds you for the next day. But only if the sleep is deep. And deep sleep requires darkness. It requires silence. If light enters your eyes while you sleep, even weak light, a phone notification, a lamp, a street light through the window, your brain never fully shuts down. It stays half awake, half alert, half stressed. That means your brain never fully repairs itself. You wake up tired, foggy, irritable, forgetful, and you blame stress, work, or age. But the real problem is that your brain never got a chance to rest properly. Your ancestors slept in complete darkness. No screens, no flashing lights, no noise. And their brains work just fine. Your brain hasn't changed. The environment has. So fix it. Turn the lights off. Remove the phone. Close the curtains. Kill the noise. Let your brain drop into real sleep, not fake rest. Because if your sleep is broken, your mind will be broken too. And this is only habit 4. The result of bad sleep is simple, and you already know it, even if you don't want to admit it. You wake up tired. Your head feels heavy. Your mood is bad for no clear reason. You forget names you should remember. You lose focus in the middle of conversations. And worst of all, you start feeling older than you really are. Let me paint a picture for you. Imagine two men, same age, same job, same stress, same problems, same responsibilities. On paper, their lives look identical, but there's one small difference. One of them sleeps 7 hours every night in a dark, quiet room. No lights, no noise, no phone buzzing next to his head. The other also sleeps 7 hours, but with lights on, notifications flashing, and sounds interrupting his sleep all night long. After 30 days, their lives look completely different. The first man wakes up with energy. His mind feels clear. He can focus. He feels motivated. The second man wakes up with headaches. His mood is terrible. His concentration is gone. He feels drained before the day even starts. What changed? Not the hours, only the quality. Your brain doesn't just need sleep. It needs real sleep, deep sleep, the kind that only happens in darkness and silence. That's why you need to turn your bedroom into a cave. Pitch black. No excuses. Use blackout curtains. Wear an eye mask. Block every bit of light. Kill the noise. Use earplugs if you have to. Turn everything off. And your phone? Get it away from you. Far away. Outside the room, if possible. Because this is not a small habit. This is not some cute optimization trick. This is a life-saving change. If you keep sleeping with distractions, you're not resting. You're slowly rotting while pretending you're fine. Now let's move on. Habit number 5. Walk alone in nature without your phone. Here's a question that makes most people uncomfortable. When was the last time you walked alone outside without your phone? No music, no messages, no podcasts, no scrolling, just you and the world around you. If your honest answer is, I don't remember, then your brain is not okay. It's trapped. You were not born to live through a screen. You were born to experience life with your eyes, your ears, your skin, and your heart. But now you only see pixels. You only hear notifications. And somewhere along the way, you forgot how to just exist without stimulation. Walking alone in nature, even for 10 minutes, does something powerful. It resets your nervous system. It lowers stress. It clears mental fog. It improves memory. It unlocks creativity. And most importantly, it reminds your brain what peace actually feels like. I heard about a woman named Eliza. She suffered from panic attacks, constant stress, and heavy brain fog. She tried everything: breathing techniques, medication, endless advice. Nothing worked. Then her therapist told her something simple. No pills, he said. Just walk outside every day without your phone. At first, she hated it. She felt bored, anxious, restless. Her mind screamed for stimulation. But after 1 week, something changed. She said, I heard birds again. I noticed the sky. I heard my own thoughts for the first time in years. It felt like meeting myself again. Her panic slowed down. Her focus returned. Not because of magic, but because nature is medicine your brain forgot it needed. So here's your challenge. Find a quiet place, a park, a garden, a road lined with trees. Leave your phone At home. Not in your pocket. Not on silent. At home. Then walk. Breathe. Look around. Listen. Do this every day. Not for fitness. Not for fun. For survival. Because if you can't be alone with your thoughts, you're not in control. Your brain is drowning in noise. And one day, that noise will destroy you. Now, we move to the next one. Habit number 6. Read something that challenges the way you think. Most people only read things that feel good to them. They choose articles, books, and posts that agree with what they already believe. Things that feel familiar. Things that feel safe. Things that say, you're right. And sure, that feels comfortable. But comfort is exactly where your brain starts to die. Here's the brutal truth. If your brain never feels confused, it never gets stronger. Your mind works just like a muscle. If you only lift light weights, your body never grows. It stays soft, weak. The same thing happens mentally. When you only feed your brain ideas it already agrees with, you're not training it. You're putting it to sleep. But when you give your brain something heavy, something strange, something uncomfortable, it has to work. It has to slow down. It has to question. And that's where growth happens. That's what this habit is really about. You need to read things that challenge you. Things that shake your beliefs a little. Things that make you stop and think, wait, what if I'm wrong? That moment of doubt is not weakness. That moment is strength being built. It could be a book that completely disagrees with your opinion. It could be the life story of someone you don't like or don't respect. It could be a perspective from a culture you don't understand. It could be a scientific idea that sounds weird or uncomfortable to you. When you do this, your brain is forced to think instead of react. You stop defending your identity and start analyzing information. And that mental effort is what keeps your brain young. Let me tell you about a guy named Marcus. Marcus was 36 years old, and he had a very strong belief. He believed money was evil. He hated rich people. In his mind, success meant greed, corruption, and selfishness. He never questioned it. That belief felt good to him. Then one day, almost by accident, he read a book written by a millionaire. At first, he was angry just opening it. But as he kept reading, something unexpected happened. The man in the book donated 90% of his money to charity. He lived simply. He used wealth to help others. Marcus was shocked. For the first time he thought, maybe not all rich people are bad. That one book didn't change everything about him. It didn't force him to agree with every idea. But it did something far more important. It woke up parts of his brain that had been asleep for years. Now Marcus reads uncomfortable books on purpose. He chooses material that challenges him instead of flattering him. And he says something interesting. He says his mind feels 10 years younger. So don't read just to relax. Read to challenge your brain. Pick a book, article, or idea you normally avoid. And when your brain starts saying, this is stupid, don't run away. Stay there. Sit with the discomfort. Argue in your head. Think deeply. Because if you always agree with everything you read, you're not thinking. You're just following. And followers don't have young minds. They have tired, lazy brains that slowly stop learning. Now let's move on. Habit number 7. Try to remember before you check. This one is going to hurt a little because almost everyone today is addicted to doing the opposite. You forget something. You immediately check Google. You forget a number. You grab your phone. You forget a name. You ask again. It feels normal. It feels harmless. But here's the harsh truth. Every time you check, instead of trying to remember, your brain gets weaker. You're training it to be lazy. You're teaching it a dangerous lesson. You're basically saying, relax, brain. Don't work. I'll handle it for you. And your brain listens. Over time, it stops trying. It stops reaching. It stops digging for information. Why would it? You've shown it that effort is optional. This habit is about something called active recall. That means forcing your brain to pull information out without help. No phone. No internet. No shortcuts. Yes, it's uncomfortable. Yes, it's frustrating. And yes, it feels slow at first. But that discomfort is exactly what strengthens your memory. Next time you forget a name, pause. Struggle for a moment. Let your brain search. Next time you forget a word, try to recall it before checking. Next time you forget where you put something, stop and think it through. Even 30 seconds of effort matters. Because memory doesn't improve by outsourcing thinking to your phone. It improves when your brain is forced to work. And just like a muscle, the effort is the signal. The harder it works, the stronger it becomes. And we're still not done. That discomfort you feel when you struggle to remember something, that's not a problem. That pain is exactly what keeps your brain sharp and alive. Let me give you a real example. There was a young woman named Sarah. She was 25 years old, a college student, and honestly, her memory was a mess. She forgot her schedule. She forgot what she studied the night before. She forgot passwords, deadlines, names. She felt embarrassed and frustrated all the time. She thought something was wrong with her. One day, one of her teachers said something that changed everything. He told her, "Stop writing everything down. Start using your brain like a toolbox, not like a trash can." That hit her hard. So she tried something that felt crazy at first. Before checking anything, before opening her phone, before looking at her notes, she waited 60 seconds. Just 1 minute. She gave her brain one last chance to work. She forced herself to try to remember, even when it felt uncomfortable and slow. And guess what happened? After 1 month, she felt different. She remembered more details without effort. She learned new information faster. She spoke with more confidence because words came to her more easily. Not because she studied longer hours. Not because she became smarter overnight. But because she stopped outsourcing her memory to devices. So here's a simple rule for you. Before you check anything, pause. Close your eyes if you need to. Try to pull the answer from your own mind, even if it feels painful, even if you fail sometimes. Because every time you remember something on your own, you create new brain connections, new wires, new strength. And every time you skip that effort, every time you immediately check, you weaken those connections. This habit alone can be the difference between a brain that slowly fades and a brain that survives and stays sharp. Now, let's move forward. Habit number 8. Do something new that you are bad at. You're probably not going to like this one. Your ego will fight it. Your pride will resist. And honestly, I don't care. I'm here to protect your brain, not your feelings. Here's the truth most people avoid. Your brain grows the most when you suck at something. Not when you win. Not when you're comfortable. Not when you already feel confident. Growth happens when you fail and keep going anyway. If you want a young brain, you need to look stupid on purpose sometimes. Learn the piano even if your fingers feel slow and clumsy. Try public speaking even if your voice shakes. Dance even if you're terrible at it. Cook a new recipe and mess it up. Draw something that looks bad. Your brain does not care if you look cool. It doesn't care about your image. It only cares about learning, adapting, and growing. Think about your daily habits. You forget a phone number, so you instantly check your contacts. You forget a word, so you Google it. You forget what someone said, so you ask again. And you tell yourself, it's fine. I'll just check. But here's what's really happening underneath. Every time you check without trying, you send a message to your brain. You're telling it, you don't need to work. Relax. I'll handle it. And over time, your brain believes you. Do this once in a while? No big deal. Do this every day. You slowly destroy your memory. Not all at once. Not dramatically. But piece by piece. Now think about this. You walk into a room and forget why you're there. You meet someone and forget their name 5 seconds later. You read a word and forget it minutes after. That's not age. That's not stress. That's not being tired. That's a brain that's been trained to be lazy. Now imagine doing the opposite. You forget something, and instead of checking, you stop. You pause. You close your eyes. You dig. You fight to remember. Your forehead tightens. You feel uncomfortable. Maybe even a little stressed. And then suddenly it comes back. That moment right there is gold. That's your brain rewiring itself. That's strength being built. That's youth returning to your mind. And the more often you do this, the sharper you become. This is how you fight mental decay. This is how you protect your mind. And this is only habit 8. That moment when the memory finally comes back is not small at all. It's huge. That's your brain quietly saying, "Thank you for using me. I'm still alive." That's how memory is actually built. Not by searching, not by asking, not by checking a screen, but by struggling, reaching, and fighting for the answer. So here's your challenge. This week, pick one thing you're bad at. Just one. Do it. Practice it. Sit with the frustration. Push through the awkwardness. Let yourself feel slow, uncomfortable, even embarrassed. Because when you do something you're bad at, you send a powerful message to your brain. You're telling it, we're not done. We're still growing. But when you only do what you're already good at, something sad happens. You become like an old dog repeating the same trick every single day. Predictable, slow, comfortable, and eventually forgotten. Now let's move on. Habit number 9. Talk deeply. Not just hi, and how are you? This habit makes a lot of people uncomfortable because it asks you to go beyond fake smiles and automatic small talk. And most people today don't really talk. They repeat scripts. They sound like robots. How are you? I'm good. Nice weather. Busy day, huh? That's not conversation. That's noise. So let me ask you something honestly. When was the last time your brain felt truly alive during a conversation? Not entertained, not distracted, but fully awake, fully present, fully engaged. Your brain needs depth. It needs conversations that make it think, feel, and reflect. If you spend your life talking about nothing, your brain will slowly start treating people like background noise. And one day, without realizing it, you'll forget how to truly connect. Think about this. You meet someone. You smile. You ask, how are you? They say, fine. You nod. You move on. 2 days later, you can't remember their name. 1 week later, you barely remember their face. Why? Because nothing real happened. Your brain didn't feel anything. No emotion. No meaning. No signal worth saving. Just noise passing through. Now, imagine something different. You ask someone, what's something you're afraid to fail at? They pause. They think. Then they answer honestly. I'm scared of being alone one day. That moment stays with you. Your brain doesn't forget it. You walk away feeling connected, mentally awake, even emotionally changed. That's what keeps your brain young. Not surface level chatter, but emotional truth that shakes you just a little. So here's what you need to do. Stop asking questions you don't actually care about. Stop giving answers that aren't real. And stop being afraid of silence. Start asking better questions. What's something that changed you this year? When was the last time you felt completely lost? What's something you've never said out loud? What's one thing you regret? What's your biggest fear? These questions open people up. And when people open up, your brain wakes up. It starts listening carefully, feeling emotions, analyzing pain, creating new mental patterns. If you never talk this way, you might have 1,000 contacts in your phone, but you'll still feel lonely because your brain never tasted real connection. Now, let's go further. Habit number 10. Change your daily routine. This one usually hits hard because your routine, the things you do every morning, every afternoon, every evening, is quietly killing your brain without you noticing. You wake up the same way. You eat the same food. You take the same path. You sit in the same place. You think the same thoughts. You end the day the same way. Your brain loves patterns, but too much routine is poison. When nothing changes, your brain stops paying attention. It goes on autopilot. Days blur together. Time speeds up. And suddenly years pass without memories. That's not because life is short. It's because your brain stopped recording it. Changing your routine doesn't mean changing your whole life. It means small disruptions. Wake up 30 minutes earlier. Take a different route. Eat something new. Sit in a different place. Change the order of your habits. These tiny changes force your brain to notice again, to stay alert, to stay awake, And that's how you stop mental decay. This is how you fight it. This is how you stay alive inside your own head. And we're not done yet. You wake up the same way every single day. Same alarm. Same movement. Same thoughts. You eat the same breakfast, walk the same road, talk to the same people, watch the same shows, and go to sleep at the same hour. And your brain? Your brain is awake, but it's sleeping with its eyes open. Repetition without variation is poison. Not dramatic poison. Slow poison. The kind that makes your brain lazy, stiff, and bored over time. And boredom isn't just a feeling you ignore. It's a signal. Your brain is literally saying, "Hey, I'm dying here." Think about your morning today. Really think about it. Did it feel exactly like yesterday? You woke up, grabbed your phone, scrolled without thinking. Same breakfast. Same clothes. Same path. Same music in your ears. That's not living. That's your brain running on autopilot. And when you repeat this for weeks, then months, then years, something strange happens. Life starts feeling like it's moving very fast, but you feel stuck in place. Days blur together. Memories fade. You feel foggy, heavy, lifeless. Not because life is empty, but because your brain stopped paying attention. Now imagine something different. You wake up and brush your teeth with the opposite hand. It feels weird. Your arm feels dumb. Good. You sit on the floor to eat breakfast instead of the table. You walk down a street you never take. You listen to a language you don't understand. You wear a color you normally avoid. Suddenly, your brain wakes up. It starts noticing things again. It starts saying, "Wait, this is new. Pay attention." That's how you feed it. That's how you stay alive up here. I tap my head. Same routine gives you the same results. Always. Change creates growth. Every time. So here's what you need to do. Break the loop. Not once. Not twice. All the time. You don't need a new job. You don't need a new city. You don't need a new life. You just need regular disruption. Eat breakfast in a different place. Change your walking route. Brush your teeth with the other hand. Sleep on the opposite side of the bed. Work at a different table. Rearrange your room. Start your morning without touching your phone. Read a type of book you never choose. Small changes. Big effects. Your brain gets surprised. And surprise equals growth. Because a brain that sees the same thing every day doesn't grow. It slowly shuts down. You were not born to live life on repeat. You were born to create. And you cannot create anything meaningful when you've been stuck in the same mental loop for years. Now let's move on. Habit number 11. Teach what you just learned. Here's a truth most people avoid. You don't really understand something until you can explain it to someone else. Most people read an article, watch a video, or listen to a podcast. They nod their head. They feel smart for 5 minutes. And the next day, it's gone. Completely forgotten. Why? Because they never used it. They never explained it. They never passed it on. Your brain works like a fire. If you don't pass the flame to someone else, it slowly goes out. Let me give you an example. You watch a video about staying calm under pressure. It sounds logical. It makes sense. You agree with everything. But the next day, you're stressed again. Nothing changed. Why? Because your brain never processed the information deeply. You understood it, but you didn't own it. Now imagine this instead. Right after watching that video, you walk over to your younger brother, your friend, or even talk to yourself out loud and say, "Hey, I learned something powerful today." When pressure hits, you slow your breathing first, then your thoughts follow. The moment you explain it, something clicks. Your brain reorganizes the information. It fills in gaps. It strengthens the memory. Teaching forces clarity. It forces ownership. You don't need a classroom. You don't need students. You can teach a friend. You can explain it to a family member. You can write it down. You can even speak it out loud to yourself. The act of teaching turns information into knowledge. And knowledge stays. That's why people who teach stay sharp. That's why their brains stay young. Because they don't just consume. They create understanding. So from now on, every time you learn something new, don't let it die in your head. Pass it on. Share it. Explain it. That's how you keep the fire alive. And we're still not done. Let me explain it to you. That single moment changes everything. When you start explaining an idea to someone else, your brain is forced to slow down and organize it. You have to find simple words. You have to make the idea clear. You have to repeat it in a way that makes sense. And suddenly, you're not just remembering anymore. You're reinforcing. A few days later, when pressure hits you again, that idea comes back automatically. Not because you rewatched the video. Not because you reread the article. But because you taught it. You owned it. That's how ideas actually stick. Not by reading. Not by watching. By teaching. So here's what you must do. Every time you learn something new, even something small, teach it. Immediately. Not next week. Not when you feel ready. Not when you think you've mastered it. Right away. You don't need a classroom. You don't need students. You just need a moment. Teach it to a friend. Explain it to your brother or sister. Say it to your partner. Record a voice message. Write it on a piece of paper. Say it out loud in front of the mirror. When you teach, your brain reorganizes the information. It says, "Oh, this isn't random. This matters." And because it matters, your brain stores it longer, deeper, and stronger. Even teaching one sentence a day can slowly rewire your mind. But if you learn and never share, you're just stuffing ideas into a dusty drawer your brain will never open again. And that's why so many people feel like they're learning every day, yet nothing in their life ever changes. They consume knowledge, but they never pass the torch. Now, let's keep going. Habit number 12. Play strategy games, not mindless ones. Let's be very clear about something. Your brain hates boredom, but it hates stupidity even more. Most people play games to escape. Endless scrolling games. Candy tapping games. Bright colors. Loud sounds. Fast rewards. No thinking. No effort. Just tap, win dopamine, repeat. It feels fun, but it's destroying your brain's ability to think deeply. You're training your mind to expect rewards without effort, to move and win, to touch and feel good instantly. And that's how you quietly kill your brain while smiling at a screen. Now, compare that to strategy games. Chess, Sudoku, word puzzles, memory card games, planning games with rules, patience, and thinking. These games don't feel fun at first. They hurt your head. You lose. You get stuck. You make mistakes. And that frustration? That's not failure. That's your brain lifting weights. Next time you're bored and you reach for your phone, stop for a second. Instead of opening the usual easy game, choose something that forces you to think. You'll feel irritated. You'll feel slow. You'll want to quit. That's the moment to stay. That's the moment your brain wakes up and starts working again. After 10 minutes, you'll feel tired. Mentally tired. Not because something is wrong, but because your brain isn't used to effort anymore. That tiredness is not damage. It's growth. Think about it this way. Junk food tastes good, but it makes your body sick. Junk games feel good, but they rot your brain. Real games don't always feel good, but they make your mind stronger. Now let's move to something even more uncomfortable. Habit number 13. Practice intermittent fasting for mental clarity. You're probably not going to like this one because it doesn't sound fun or easy. But your brain doesn't care about comfort. It cares about control. Most people eat too much, too often, and without thinking. Snacks, meals, sugar, constant eating from morning until night. And they don't realize one painful truth. When your stomach is always full, your brain becomes slow. Digestion is work. When your body is constantly digesting food, your energy is pulled away from your brain. That's why after big meals you feel sleepy, foggy, heavy, and unfocused. Intermittent fasting isn't about starving yourself. It's about giving your brain space. When you don't eat for a period of time, something powerful happens. Your body stops focusing on digestion and starts focusing on clarity. Your mind sharpens. Your thoughts become cleaner. Your focus improves. That's why so many people say they think best when they're slightly hungry. You don't need to do anything extreme. Start simple. Delay breakfast by an hour or two. Stop eating late at night. Give your body a break. At first, it will feel uncomfortable. You'll feel hunger. Your brain will complain. But that discomfort is your body relearning control. And control is what keeps your brain young. We're not chasing comfort here. We're chasing clarity. And the next habits go even deeper. When your body is busy digesting food all the time, your brain pays the price. Energy is limited. And if most of it is stuck in your stomach, your mind gets the leftovers. That's why constant eating makes you feel slow, foggy, and mentally heavy. Now try this. Just once or twice a week, don't eat for 12 to 14 hours. For example, stop eating at 8 p.m. and don't eat again until 10 a.m. the next day. No snacks. No sugar. No fake energy. Just water. At first, it feels uncomfortable. Your stomach complains. Your habits scream. But then something strange happens. Your mind starts waking up. You feel more alert, more focused, sharper, like someone cleaned fog off your thoughts. That's not imagination. When you fast, your brain releases a powerful chemical called BDNF. It's basically growth hormone for your mind. The same way lifting weights grows muscle, fasting helps grow your brain. So next time you wake up, don't rush to eat. Don't grab snacks. Don't drink sweet coffee. Just drink water and wait. Sit in that quiet space. Observe what happens inside your head. First comes hunger, then discomfort, then clarity. Ideas start appearing. Memory feels faster. Thinking feels cleaner. You feel alert, not sleepy. That's your brain entering hunter mode, the state it was designed for. A state it forgot because you've been feeding it non-stop like a baby. If you never fast, your mind stays full and foggy forever. Not because you're weak, but because you never let your brain breathe. Now, let's go deeper. Habit number 14. Use brainwriting instead of brainstorming. This habit is dangerous, not because it harms you, but because it exposes how shallow your thinking usually is. You've heard of brainstorming. People sit together and throw ideas out loud. Fast talking. No silence. Everyone trying to sound smart. But here's the problem. Fast talking usually leads to shallow thinking. People say what's easy, not what's true. They perform instead of reflect. Now try something different. Next time you need ideas, solutions, or clarity, use brainwriting. No talking. No noise. Just writing. Set a timer. 5 minutes. 10 ideas. No internet. No conversation. No distractions. Just you and your mind on paper. Something interesting will happen. The first 2 or 3 ideas come easily. They're obvious. You already knew them. Then suddenly, your brain goes blank. And that moment right there is where growth begins. Because now you can't rely on surface thoughts. Now you have to dig. Now your brain is forced to go deeper. This is where real creativity lives. Not the loud kind. The life-changing kind. Try today. Pick one question. Why am I always tired? How can I improve my focus? What is secretly wasting my time? Set a timer for 7 minutes. Write non-stop. Don't edit. Don't delete. Don't judge. Just write. At minute 3, you'll want to stop. At minute 5, your head will hurt. At minute 7, one thought will appear that shocks you. That thought might change your life. But if you always brainstorm out loud, you only say what's already floating on the surface. You never reach what's hidden underneath. Now, we move to something physical. Habit number 15. Take cold showers to shock mental alertness. This habit is brutal. And that's exactly why it works. Most people spend their whole life chasing comfort. Warm beds, hot showers, soft chairs, sweet food, safe routines. Everything easy, everything cozy. But here's the hard truth. Comfort is the slowest way to kill your brain. When your body is always comfortable, your mind becomes lazy. It stops adapting. It stops reacting. It stops waking up. Cold showers do the opposite. The moment cold water hits your skin, your brain panics. Your breathing changes. Your heart wakes up. Your focus snaps into the present moment. There's no past, no future, just now. That shock tells your brain, pay attention, stay alive. You don't need long cold showers. Start with 10 seconds at the end of a warm shower. Just stand there, breathe, feel the discomfort, then slowly increase the time. You'll hate it at first. That's normal. But after a few days, something changes. You step out feeling awake, focused, clear. Like your mind has been reset. Cold is not punishment. Cold is a signal. It tells your brain, adapt or die. And adaptation is what keeps you young. You don't need comfort to grow. You need challenge. And challenge is what keeps your mind alive. We're almost at the end. When life is always easy, something dangerous happens inside you. Your mind stops resisting. It stops adapting. It stops evolving. And a brain that doesn't evolve slowly shuts down. Now picture this with me. You wake up in the morning. You turn on the shower. But this time, you don't turn the handle toward comfort. You turn it all the way to cold. Ice cold. The moment the water hits your body, every cell in you screams. No, your chest tightens. Your breath jumps. Your mind panics. Every instinct tells you to escape. And right there, in that exact second, something powerful happens. Your brain snaps fully awake. No coffee, no sugar, no phone, just shock, just survival. Your body thinks it's under attack, and that's when your brain comes alive. Your breathing speeds up. Your awareness sharpens. Blood starts rushing. Your focus locks in. All the useless thoughts disappear. There's no past, no future, only now. This is real activation. This is mental control. So here's what I want you to try tomorrow. Take your normal warm shower. Relax. Then, for just 30 seconds, turn the water to cold. As cold as it goes. You will panic. You will want to jump out. Your brain will say, this is stupid. Stop. That's the moment to stay. Stand there and tell your brain, we don't run from discomfort anymore. When you step out, something changes. You feel awake, alive, strong, and deep inside, a quiet voice appears that says, I can handle life. Because if you can control your body's panic, you can control your mind's weakness. And that is what keeps your brain young. Not warm showers, not easy mornings, not feeling safe all the time, but facing the storm and standing tall. Now we reach the final one. Habit number 16. Memorize one new poem or song every week. This last habit is not soft. It's not cute. And it's definitely not just for fun. This is mental surgery. This is about rebuilding your brain from the inside out. Here's the truth most people don't want to hear. Your memory is dying. Every day you forget names, places, moments, words, and you just accept it. You blame age, stress, life, being busy. But the real reason is simpler and scarier. You stopped memorizing. You don't remember phone numbers anymore because your phone does it for you. You don't remember words because Google is always there. You don't remember sentences because everything is saved somewhere else. You outsourced your memory. And when you stopped using it, your brain stopped trying. So here's the fix. Once a week, choose something small to memorize. A short poem, a verse from a song, a quote, something with rhythm, something with emotion, something that flows. Then repeat it out loud. Say it while walking. Say it in the shower. Say it before sleep. At first, it feels hard. Your brain resists. You forget lines. You mess it up. That's good. That struggle is your brain waking up. By the end of the week, you'll notice something strange. You don't just remember the poem. Your overall memory feels stronger. Words come faster. Thoughts feel clearer. Your mind feels sharper. That's because memorization forces deep focus. It forces attention. It forces your brain to hold information without help. And that is exactly what it forgot how to do. This isn't about becoming smart. This is about staying alive mentally. If you do nothing, your memory will keep fading quietly. But if you challenge it week by week, line by line, you rebuild your brain like a muscle. And that's it. 16 habits. 16 weapons. 16 ways to protect your mind. You don't need to do them all at once. Just start. Pick one, then another, then another. Because a brain that is challenged stays young. A brain that is protected stays alive. And a brain that is alive changes everything. Write it down by hand. Not on your phone. Not in your notes app. With a pen. On paper. Slow your body down and force your brain to work. Then test yourself. Close the paper. Try to remember it. Make your mind hold something real. Because memorization is not passive. It's deep thinking. When you memorize, your brain has to focus. It has to repeat. It has to organize words in the right order. It has to connect meaning with rhythm and emotion. That process builds mental muscle. Real strength. Not scrolling strength. Not listening strength. Not watching strength. But holding something inside you, word for word, with no help. Think about this for a second. There's probably one song you still remember from years ago. Maybe from your childhood. Maybe from a painful moment. You didn't sit down and try to memorize it. But it lives inside your head anyway. You know every word, every pause, every emotion. Now imagine using that same power on purpose. Imagine choosing a quote that inspires you, a poem that challenges you, a sentence that makes your chest feel tight or your eyes water. And instead of just liking it, you repeat it every day. You say it out loud. You write it down. You walk with it. You sleep with it until it becomes part of you. Do this once a week. In 1 year, you will have 50 poems, quotes, or verses living inside your brain. Not saved online. Not stored in your phone. Inside you. Always available. Always alive. And here's the part most people don't know. People who memorize regularly have sharper focus, stronger recall, more emotional control, slower brain aging. This isn't motivation talk. This is backed by real science. But if you never memorize anything, your brain slowly turns into an empty library. You walk inside, and every shelf is missing books. That's what most people's minds feel like today. Empty, foggy, disconnected. Now, listen to me carefully. These habits are not cute. They are not easy. They are not comfortable. They are uncomfortable. They are painful. They are raw. And that's exactly why they work. Everything that keeps your brain young lives outside your comfort zone. Always has. Always will. Your brain is not your friend. It doesn't care about your dreams. It doesn't care about your future. It only cares about saving energy, about doing less, about staying safe. And if you don't fight back, it will slowly shut down your fire. It will keep you comfortable while you lose your edge, while you lose your clarity, while you lose yourself piece by piece. But now you know better. Now you have the tools. 16 habits. 16 weapons. Each one simple. Each one powerful. Each one quiet, but deadly to mental decay. Use them daily. Not for fun. Not for motivation. Not for views. For survival. Because if you don't protect your brain, no one else will. And if this video woke something up inside you, if even one habit made you pause and think, don't just watch this and forget it. Use it. Live it. Fight for your mind. Most people will keep scrolling. But you know the truth now. And if you want more content that respects your time, content that helps you grow, think sharper, and live stronger, then subscribe to this channel right now. We're not here to entertain you. We're here to transform you. Let's build the strongest minds together.